And hello everybody, welcome to the second ever Christmas special. Yep, I'm actually trying to make this a thing. And the third Pokéstoric episode. Yep, you heard that right. We got 3. We actually got more Pokéstoric episodes than we do Pokemonsters and Pokebeasts. Hopefully I can change that. Anyway, yes, this video isn't going to be done for Christmas, but hopefully I'll get it done before New Year's. So, well, I hope you had a very happy Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever festive season you celebrate around this time of year. Oh yeah, for those who don't know how this video works, there'll be 5 prehistoric life forms, whether they're plant, fungus, fish, dinosaur, dog, etc. And each of those is going to be covered by an artist to create Pokemon from. And if you by any chance did enjoy this video, then you know what to do. But I highly encourage you to please check out my channel if you can. It would really help. Anyway, enough babbling from me. Let's start the video. Our first entry is surprisingly a fungus, Prototaxites. I hope I pronounced that right because I can't find any official pronunciation, although I bet someone would have found it a lot better than I could. Prototaxites was first discovered in 1843, but was later described in 1857 by Canadian geologist John William Dawson as fossilised rotting wood from conifers. This fact was accepted until 1872 when a rival scientist named Cres rejected Dawson's description and stated that Prototaxites was a form of marine algae. He even wanted to change the genus name to Nematophycus to better suit the identification. Despite this, the name remains unchanged. Cres's view was globally accepted, but it wasn't certain what Prototaxites was until 2011, where Francis Hubert published a paper informed that Prototaxites was a giant fungus based on its morphology. This was faced with skepticism until a statement was reported by an isotope analysis from 2007. Future me, I think that meant to say 2001. I don't think about that. Okay, let's get the most obvious out of the way. Prototaxites is the largest known fungus to have ever lived, reaching up to 8 meters in height and was the largest land-dwelling organism during its time. Well, that isn't saying much since most life forms were still in the ocean and what was on land were mainly primitive plants and microorganisms. Of course, and this is where I would say loosely relates to elements of the holiday season, many fungi like Prototaxites were the pioneers of terrestrial life, for both fauna and flora. The terrain was too hard and lacked nutrients for plants to grow until fungi, with their specialised enzymes to break down rock and other sturdy materials, created a soft, nutritious soil for terrestrial plants to grow. So, thank fungi like Prototaxites for the Christmas trees and practically everything else. Various fossil specimens showed that the giant fungus was bored into by ancient insects, which was a behaviour not seen until stemmed plants emerged. Possibly because of this and being outcompeted by plants, the largest fungus ever known has been lost. I won't lie, a giant fungus has quite a few facts behind it. And hey, I do have deep respect now for how large fungi actually grew at such an early time in life's history. And also just how they served as the foundation for all terrestrial life we know. Anyway, let's see what this gargantuan fungus would look like as a Pokemon. It was the tallest thing alive during its time. It disappeared once more familiar plant Pokemon began roaming the lands. This is Taxutrunk. Wow, it's big. For such a simple design, it is quite impressive. Admittedly, I did ask the artist if they could add some detail to the design when they first sent it to me, and I appreciate that they did that and that they made it subtle, but it made a big difference.
And how does it relate to Christmas?
Oh, I will admit, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it doesn't have to be abundantly clear, and can be interpreted as whatever you wish. But if I had to guess, Taxutrunk represents what has been left behind for the new.
Like the 3DS.
Yes, as sad as that in particular is. But that doesn't mean they have to be forgotten or neglected. Oh yeah, and Taxutrunk is white. Like snow. For stats, Taxutrunk has astounding HP with decent special defense, but is terribly slow and has hardly any offensive presence. Perfect for a HP tank. For abilities, we have quite an unusual selection that are quite good. To be honest, I can't really say which would be the best. As they all work quite well. So, onto moves. I did a lot of stalling moves like Rest, Leech Seed, Toxic Spikes, etc. Oh, but you can use Pain Split or High Horsepower and Bulldoze in case his Pokemon gets taunted. If I have to suggest a set, Magic Guard is best if you hold a Toxic Orb to avoid getting inflicted by Paralysis, Freeze or Sleep. Well, Sleep you might want to give yourself if you need to rest. Toxic is great for whittling down your opponent's team, and Leech Seed and Recover offer recovery. It's just adding Bulldoze just in case, because it will slow down the opposing Pokemon. To be honest, it's up to you. This Pokemon is very vulnerable to physical attackers, such as Lucario, Heracross and Skarmory, but Taxutrunk's HP does make it hard to take down. I'd like to thank Protopulsar for doing this design. Like I said, it's very simple, but I really think it's really cool, and also just a massive thank you for, well, doing a Pokebotany entry. It's really cool to expose people to more plants and fungi, so yes, big thank you. We definitely want to give some more diversity here. If you want to check out more of their content, you can see their socials on the screen, but their links will also be in the description. Lol. As usual, we don't stay in the Protozoic long, but guess what? This entry isn't a dinosaur. No, we have
Pterosaur.
No.
Marine reptile.
Again, no.
An Archosaur. So it is an Archosaur.
I suppose you can say that. Actually, it's a mixture of an Archosaur and a Pterosaur.
But you said it wasn't.
It's a gliding reptile.
An ancestor of pterosaurs.
You'll see. From a single fossil specimen found in 1965 in the Maiden Formation. How the bloomin' heck are you meant to pronounce that? Jiaochu, Jialachu, Jiaochu, Jiaochao. From a single fossil specimen found in 1965 in the Maiden Formation Jiaochao on the southwest edge of Vagana Valley in Kyrgyzstan. Can I just quickly say I am incredibly sorry, that is just some poor pronunciation. Sharovopteryx was described by Alexander Djurkvek-Sharov, again my apologies, in 1971 as Podopteryx, but the name was used for a genus of damselfly, so the name was changed by Richard Owen in 1891. No, 1981, what the heck am I saying? Anyway, the original name, Podopteryx, means footwing.
What?
Yes, this reptile glided using its hind legs as its wings.
Did evolution get high during the Triassic?
Well, considering that this was after the biggest mass extinction, wiping 90% of all life, you know, life was desperate to find a way to survive. But yeah, I'm not surprised by your reaction, as it is the only known glider to use a membrane attached to its pelvis instead of its pectoral girdle.
Pectoral girdle? What?
The torso.
Neat. So how was it able to glide? The wide distribution doesn't seem to be that even for it to actually keep it in the air.
Well, it would have glided using its forelimbs and bending its tail to produce drag, keeping the air underneath it so it can float.
Ah.
As a matter of fact, this method is very similar to how modern jets, such as the Delta Wing, flew. So this is definitely quite an interesting animal for simply its evolutionary method. By the way, Mudkip, why did you think this animal was going to be a pterosaur?
Well, yeah. I want to show in this video without seeing one of those things.
Well, I can assure you, this video will be pterosaur free.
Good.
What do you think about this animal?
I'm just goddamn bigger than it, and it's an insectivore.
Possibly an insectivore.
Just don't.
Anyway, let's see what this pelvic glider would look like as a Pokemon. In the winter, Sharofyrx congregate in large numbers. Their patterns that store the summer light glow and their eyes and tails flicker. The male with the flashiest lighting wins the attention of the female. People celebrate this event to maintain hope in their community in the freezing season. This is Sharofyrx. I hope I said that right. Anyway, this is literally a gliding Christmas tree, and I'm glad how vague it is in shape, but made clear with its colour palette. Amazing work. For stats, Sharofyrx has great speed and good special attack, but is very frail. For its ability, we have Levitate. I really need to chop that description down a bit, but there's so much to cover. Anyway, the ability does give this Pokemon an immunity to many trap setups and is immune to ground type moves. And of course, for moves, there was a lot I could think of to give it, but Tail Glow is amazing for this Pokemon as it gains a sharp special attack boost. Roost and Leech Seed offer recovery, and there for offense is actually quite a coverage that I suggest thinking about carefully.
And of course, it has to be grass electric.
What? Oh, yeah. Now you mention it, you definitely don't want to fight this guy. Huh? Even in your Mega form?
If I ever evolve, yeah.
One day. You just gotta keep working. I'd like to thank Lucina for this design and also doing this shiny. And also thank you for not doing another dinosaur. But hey, I like that you went for something weird. I like weird. Like, the weirder the better. Yeah, but no, a lot of animals do have Pokemon-like aesthetics about it. They can be really great influences. Anyway, if you like their artwork, then please check them out. Link is on, well, their socials are on the screen, but you can also find their socials in the description below. Also, sorry, I didn't ask if you want to do any voice acting, but, you know, I've been pretty busy, and I suppose you don't want to have too much stress this festive season. Onto the Jurassic, we have our first dinosaur in this video, Cryolophosaurus. With fossils that are only found 4,000 meters or 13,000 feet high in the Antarctic mountains of Mount Kirkpatrick, sounds like a SpongeBob parody of Star Trek. Cryolophosaurus was the first named carnivorous dinosaur from Antarctica. Cryolophosaurus is best known for its skull, sporting a small crest. However, as the only known specimen is a sub-adult, the crest may have grown bigger. It was likely used to distinguish the dinosaur from other theropods. From what I have found, while its skull appears similar to the more popular Allosaurus, some sources say that Cryolophosaurus is more closely related to Dilophosaurus, while other sources suggest Carnotaurus. While Cryolophosaurus was likely to be a fearsome predator in the early Jurassic, evidence of bite marks on the fossilized bones suggest it would have fallen prey to larger carnivores. Of course, Antarctica wasn't much of an icy continent we know today, but covered in forests. I will admit, I did choose this animal for it was in the latest game of Jurassic World Evolution 2, and it lived in the icy lands of Antarctica, so I felt it fits well into this video. Also, it's been ages since I've done a carnivorous dinosaur Pokemon.
What about the infected Tarantrum?
No, E697 doesn't count. Oh, by the way, speaking of Jurassic World Evolution 2, please check out my Let's Play of it. I just wanted to play it, really. You know, I recorded the footage myself, I hope it's good. I work hard on my footage recording. I even, like, put the effort in making the habitat look pretty decent. Heck, I even chose the location that suits it best. I think it was Canada. Anyway, let's see what this crested lizard would look like as a Pokemon. These little Pokemon love to sing, dance, and eat as much as possible. Although they do play tricks and pranks on others, Kirnu always treats them afterwards. This little guy is Kirnu. To be honest, Totodile was the base influence for this design, as it matches the energy and characteristic I was going for with this design. I wanted to make it look colourful and childlike while retaining the Cryolophosaurus influence. For stats, Kirnu isn't that great, with focus on its specials and speed. Kirnu's best stat is its HP. For its abilities, we have Harvest, which can be great with HP restoring berries or stat-based berries. Thick Fat gives Kirnu more defensive options. Okay, now this is where the stuff gets interesting, and I'm quite excited to show you. Let's see what this Pokemon would evolve into. Usually living along the mountains, winter Kryshma sing a haunting tune. In the winter, they store various berries gathered in the summer in the mountainous caves, where they guard ferociously, except towards those who need food and shelter, which it happily offers. Summer Kryshma love to dance. When people hold a celebration in their community, Kryshma appear to entertain and share food it has stolen from the greedy. These Pokemon are both called Kryshma. Yep, these are variants that evolve depending on the season Kirnu levels up in. Not sure what level in particular, maybe, I don't know. I might have changed it on screen later, so you'll see that, I don't know. One in the winter and the other in the summer. By the way, I really hope seasons make a permanent comeback in Pokemon games, as I feel it opens so many doors for mechanics, gameplay, and artistic vision. Okay, I won't go into this for too long, but I have taken influence from the Indian festival Lohri, which is a festival that occurs around this time. I think it's November, but I think it does continue in December as well, celebrating the harvest and the end of summer. I did include details from Indian religious icons, Vishnu for Kirnu, Rama for the winter variant of Kryshma, and Krishna for the summer variant. But I also used two Indian birds, the Indian grey hornbill and the Indian peafowl, aka the peacock. We'll start talking about the winter variant. For stats, it has a specially defensive set with decent speed. For its abilities, we have the defensive Snow Cloak. For its hidden ability, we have Winter Song, which is pretty powerful. For moves, definitely go for special moves, especially sound-based moves if you have Winter Song as your ability. Calm Mind also helps as Pokemon's bulky sweeping set.
You basically made a Dino version of Primarina, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't realise it until now. Onto the summer variant. While Winter Kryshma is more reserved, the summer is livelier with more focus on speed and offense at the cost of its defense. For abilities, Chlorophyll grants greater speed, 216 to be exact, if it's in the sun. For its hidden ability, we have Summer Dance, which is interesting as Summer Kryshma would have more focus on beefing itself up. For moves, we have more focus on fire-based moves, although Fiery Dance is the best choice if you have Summer Dance as your hidden ability. Using that move as an example, you can double the damage, the stat boost, and the chance that the stat boost would occur. But this can only work in the sunlight. I hope that's not too powerful. For both of these Pokemon, the physical defense is their weakness. But I feel the summer form of Kryshma is especially weak as ground and rock type moves are mostly physical. But that's why having grass moves is a good idea. I want to thank my patrons for letting me choose my entry for this video. And yes, I really wanted to do, well, as I said, I really wanted to do a carnivorous dinosaur. And yeah, these are very fun designs to do, and I'm really happy that, as well as choosing a really interesting looking dinosaur, I did look into celebrations that do happen around Christmas and have very similar elements, but isn't Christmas itself. Speaking of which, I just wanted to say that I did use religious icons as an influence for the Pokemon designs, but my intention wasn't to make any party or anything like that. I actually just wanted to use them to, like, an Indian reference to sort of connect the designs with Indian culture a little bit further. And also, I just wanted to raise awareness of celebrations outside of Christmas. Anyway, if you guys want to check out what I do behind the scenes and that, then please check out my Patreon. Are you serious? Why would I pronounce this dinosaur Dromaeosaurus? Doesn't sound threatening. I suppose it is smaller than your average dino. Oh. Sorry. Our second and final dinosaur in this video is Dromaeosaurus. Dromaeosaurus, as some of you may know, is the first Dromaeosaur discovered, hence why the group is named after it, although it wasn't well known at the time when it was named by Dylan Matthew and Barnum Brown in 1922. However, when other Dromaeosaurs, aka raptors, were discovered over time, a clearer picture of a dinosaur emerged. As you would have guessed, like many other Dromaeosaurus likely hunted similar to wolves, in packs up to 12 individuals led by an alpha. Although it had a sickle claw like its relatives, Dromaeosaurus had a proportionally larger skull, suggesting it would have used its jaws as a weapon. While it's uncertain how it would have used its jaws, it was likely that it used it to grip onto prey or to crush through tougher skin. If not an adaptation, the skull could have been a primitive trait it carried from its ancestors. This skull also had an enlarged nasal cavity, suggesting it had an enhanced sense of smell. I'll be honest, I thought the dinosaur was going to be bigger, so I can see why its name sounds a bit cuter. But its skull definitely does sound threatening. Anyway, let's see what this big-headed dinosaur would look like as a Pokemon. Despite their large and intimidating size, this Pokemon will nudge their masters into other trainers. The reason is yet to be known. Luvmeosaur has 3 hidden claws in its branch-like arms, which it uses along its toe claws to dismantle their foes. This is Luvmeosaur! Probably the most ironic entry in this video. It's a bit too early, isn't it? It's not February yet.
Why?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
Anyway, Luvmeosaur is based on the Mistletoe with elements of fir plant and I think turkey. Oh, and it's basically a large bulbul as well. And yes, I spelled it right in the screenplay as well. I mean, you can look here. What are you doing?
Mistletoe dude. You know what to do.
No, okay, I'm out. I am out.
Come on.
No.
You might never get this opportunity again.
Like that's a bad thing with you. For stats, Luvmeosaur has good bulk, attack and speed, but it's not the best with its special attack. For abilities, we have a new ability called Rune Scent, which is pretty powerful. I also added another ability that exists called Cute Charm. I don't think I need to explain why I added that. For moves, there are quite a few options, including a risky explosion, which can be devastating if stacked with Sword Stance. While definitely interesting, Dromaeosaurus will still have a trouble against... Did I just say? While definitely interesting, Luvmeosaur will still have trouble against ice types such as the faster Weavile. Also, can I just say I'm surprised Torterra is the only official Pokemon that is a grass ground type. And would be cool if we see more Pokemon with that type combination. Heck, we don't have any ground fighting types yet. Ground is such a standard type. Surprised you haven't messed around with that yet. And I'm talking about the official Pokemon here. Although, if people want to try something for Pokemon creations, then go ahead. Previously known as Mystic for Electric, I would like to thank Black Beetle, is that right? Anyway, I'd like to thank you for, doing this design and also making this shiny, which is more of a blue colour. Anyway, please check out this artist. Their links are in the description and yeah, you'll see which they are on screen as well. Just check them out, please, if you can. It helps. This series really does help promote smaller artists. Our final entry, and thank goodness it's in the Xenozoic, is the Arno River Dog, or Canis arnensis. The Arno River Dog was possibly the ancestor of modern jackals, evidenced by the length of the upper molar teeth. Speaking of which, the anatomy and morphology this canid has is very similar to the modern golden jackal. While these animals are not the first canids to be found in Europe, the Arno River Dog and other similar species were the first of the modern canids to arrive in Europe, evidenced by a specimen found in Poggio Rosso in Tuscany, Italy. The more modern canids were more specialised in the open, dry landscapes, being able to outcompete against the more primitive canids that once lived in Europe. Oh, and how can I forget? The Arno River Dog was named after the Arno River, which was nearby where the fossil of the Arno River Dog and 2 other animals were discovered in the provinces of Florence and Arezzo, Italy. The animal was named by Charles Emmanuel Forsyth Major in 1913. Okay, I didn't exactly forget, I just didn't read the part that specifically had the name. I just thought there was no information on it. But yeah, I felt I needed to go over that, why is it called the Arno River Dog, so yeah. Anyway, not too much to say except it's great to have another canid in the series, and not too long after the Prehistoric video, the previous one. Anyway, let's see what this River Dog would look like as a Pokemon. Carnos can only be found at a particular river where they are specifically adapted to blend into the local environment. Earning their trust is difficult but not impossible. They are also good swimmers. This is Carnos, the name I came up with myself from Canis and Arno. I thought there was another reason behind the name, but I can't think of what it was. Well, it can't be that important. Anyway, very colourful design that feels like what an Arno River Dog Pokemon would look like. For its type, I thought Carnos could be a rock water type, as the artist stated they used the stones from the Arno River as reference for the colours of the design. Plus, I don't think we actually had a water dog yet. For stats, Carnos has the most focus on physical attack with decent bulk and speed. For abilities, you have Intimidate to help with his Pokemon's bulk. Another ability is Swift Swim, making his Pokemon pretty fast with 144 speed in the vein. For moves, having Accelerock is something I feel must be part of your moveset, as it has priority and is pretty powerful with Stab. Ice Fang helps counter against grass types. Axle Jet, like Accelerock, also has priority and Stab, but isn't quite as powerful, but does have some versatility. As I said, grass types are going to be trouble against Carnos, but this Pokemon could have a shot, I feel, in the competitive scene. And yes, I use Lycanroc as reference when making this Pokemon's abilities and such, because of how similar they are. I would like to thank Phloxy Fables for doing this design, and just using a dog. Using a mammal, using something a little less popular. I feel having a more diverse set really does make these videos a bit more interesting, less generic. Because let's face it, if I bet 99% of videos would be talking about T-Rex or that. But hey, I appreciate. Well, actually, I don't know how many people know about this animal. Who actually knew about this animal before this video, other than the artist who drew this? And I mean, before the production of this video, I'm not talking about. Because I can imagine like Flocky saying, I knew about it, even though they were, I don't know. Sorry. I jest. But yeah, anyway, if you want to check them out, then their socials are on screen. Yeah, please check them out. So, let's firstly get the obvious out of the way. I know this video is a month late, and I am incredibly sorry for that. It's been really busy, and of course, I just want to make sure this video is actually pretty decent to watch and pretty enjoyable, which I did put a fair bit of effort into this one. I hope you like it. If there's any suggestions for what I could do in the future for, you know, just little quirky segments, then please let me know. Actually, speaking of those segments, Mudskip, come back here on screen.
Hiya.
Yeah, thank you so much for your help here.
No probs, dude. By the way, you owe me some smooches.
No, I'm not gonna give you a smooch. No. Blimey. Do you realise how weird that is?
People in Pokémon were. Was the same, yeah, no?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's legit, believe it or not. I think I'll cover that in my Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Let's Play. You know, the one I've actually started up here, you know, in the eye icon. But yes, I did post this video on the 25th, as I feel it would be a little bit more appropriate compared to just posting it on any other day, because it's been exactly a month since Christmas. Which, by the way, I hope you all did have a, well, great festive season for those who celebrate Christmas, or celebrate a different season, or even just want to just use the holiday season just to chill out, you know? Also, I know my budgies are really noisy right now. I think I feel they do it while they're recording deliberately. They know what they're up to. So, I'd like to say thank you to the artists who made the Pokemon, but also the artists who let me use their existing artwork for cutaways. So, the artists who done the Pokemon, I did choose some of them because they have some of their designs featured in the future video, but I'm gonna have to wait a while, so I thought maybe this will just, you know, sort of spike the excitement a bit. Oh, and also, Mudskip, who's your costume from?
Oh, thanks Gilman Bread for my hat and scarf.
Got it right? I'll put a deviant art on screen here. I'd like to thank my patrons for choosing the thumbnail for this video, the one you actually saw before clicking it. But also I'll show it here just in case you forgot. So if you want to take part for who will be in the thumbnail, then I highly recommend becoming a patron. The minimum cost is only $1. Of course, you can also show support by following me on my other sites, including Facebook, Twitter, DeviantArt, Amino, whatever you like, or whatever you have. So if you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more from me in the future, please don't forget to subscribe. And lastly, please click the bronzong, you know, the little bell icon, to be notified for those videos, because obviously I am not the most frequent uploader, I am completely scattered. But I hope at least the quality makes up for it. So, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, Happy Winter. I hope 2022 will be better for everyone. In the past, present, or even future. I will see you there. Goodbye! Happy 2022! Done it. Kick the blimmin' think instead I've had